Next up, from Litepanels, we have Alan Ipakchian. Alan has been with Litepanels for a long time.
Yeah,
And these Litepanels, I've had one for, I don't know, 12 years or so. I think I got one of the early ones.
Yep.
They get brighter and brighter. And now he's going to tell us about the Astra, I believe it's called.
Absolutely. So as Jim mentioned, Litepanels has been around for some time now, introducing LED technology into the image capture world, and most famously known for our 1x1 panels. And this is the next generation, but we've taken it a step further with this Astra. The Astra has been around for about 4 or 5 years with the ability to go from daylight to tungsten. This is a newer model that's kind of more targeted for the audience that's shooting out in, let's say, the bright sun out in Burbank, which it's a beautiful day out today. If you were able to shoot with the exterior coming really brightly, then you would have something like this, which is the Astra bifocus. And what we're doing here, it's a single daylight temperature light, but allows you to go from a flood, which is about a 45-degree beam, to a narrow, about 15-degree spot. So if you really want to have an intense beam of light that you want to throw for a long distance, the Astra bifocus is something that's pretty remarkable, and it's pretty impressive. So what I'll do is kind of show you the spot flood feature. So we're about 50% intensity here in full flood, which is comparable to our Astra 6X bicolor beam angle, but it can narrow down to an intense spot. Now, the cameras may not be able to see this, but I'll point it up into the rafter so you can see the amount of throw it has. And as we know with the LED technology, throw of illumination is where you kind of run into some issues because there's such a great fall off with the technology. So that's our spot, and you can kind of see the intensity that we're going. That's 100% output in spot, so you can kind of see the difference there. Really intense spot, and we have a diffusion on there that can be removed if you wanted to go about 5% more intensity. And let me just kind of remove that, and you can kind of see it gives you a little bit more punch if you need it. Perfect for when you're working out in the daylight sun and you have to kind of battle that California sun that's so beautiful. Uses all the same accessories as the regular Astras, meaning you can use soft boxes and communications modules and diffusions that we have that's going directly over the LEDs. So that's the Astra bifocus. And for those that may not know this one, this is our wider panel 2x1 Gemini that was introduced about a year ago. And we're constantly updating it with firmware. We now have a library of gels. We also have the ability to go with all the different effects. We have 11 that are very customizable. So you can go from, for the fire effect, you could go from a single candle light and then change the rate in different parameters like the rate and the depth. So you could have like a roaring kind of fire that's quickly flickering, and also like the jumps on the fire are kind of the depth, so you can have like a bonfire effect if you wanted to. What's unique about the Gemini is that not only do you have customizable effects, but you can save them to presets. So if you have favorite looks that you like and you want to use that for, let's say, different skin tones, like, this is a person that I lit that has very fair skinned and I liked the way that looked, you can save that to a preset. You can save that preset to a USB, so the next time you're shooting with it, or the next time you rent this light, you can restore the presets and you're able to recall those kind of colors. So we found that to be very useful for a couple of different reasons. Like we mentioned, if you're renting and you have your favorite looks, you can restore them. Or if you have multiple lights and you wanted to restore those so all your lights are doing the same thing. And one thing that we kind of didn't anticipate that people are starting to do is when they're shooting for different looks, they have multiple USBs and they're saving all their different looks to multiple USBs, so they restore those looks. For instance, if they're shooting something that has, kind of like for your skin tones and stuff like that, you can save your presets there. If you want to do some dramatic stuff like horror film flickering with lightning and stuff like that, you can save your effects USB and restore them as you need it. One other thing I should mention about the Gemini that's really unique and we think that our users would really appreciate is the ability to stack them. So you can have multiple Geminis, but if you want to make one large source of light, there's a hardware system that you can purchase that'll stack up to 4 lights together, and it'll create a large source of light. And that way, if you need it for that particular project, you have that large source. But let's say your next project only requires maybe 1 or 2 lights, you can break that system down and use them in that regard. So you're not stuck with a big, large source that you'll use maybe half the time when you're shooting. You have the ability to build your light setup. So that's basically what's new. We do have some new stuff coming at NAB, so if you guys do stay tuned to the DCS, because Jim will be there covering it. And if you're there, please stop by the Vitech booth, Litepanels, and you'll see what we have new, and we're looking forward to it. Thanks for the time. Come by, check us out over there. Come say hi, introduce yourselves. Thank you.